So last time, a quick recap of last time, we talked about how, what is self-esteem first. And it is basically how much you like yourself, how much you esteem who you are. And this is not like a fixed thing that it's like every day remains the same. It changes depending on your mood, what you're going through, and if your team won in football, I don't like many different things affect your self-esteem, and it's a scope. So it basically just moves a little bit, wiggles. So there's nothing to worry about if you have a down day, a bad hair day, a pimple in the middle of your face that just takes away every bit of self-confidence you had. That is just temporary, and the idea with this content that we are sharing is that you are able to have a strong base, that your common state of self-esteem is relatively confident, relatively high, so then you can, even if you wiggle a little bit, you can still stay comfortable. So what is self-esteem? Is how much you like yourself and how confident you are in the domain of being yourself. And this is also closely linked with all the different things that you find important and how confident you are in those areas that you find important. So, for example, for me, what's important is, being good in social relationships, being successful in my career. That's not that relevant. But yeah, just like having close family relationships, this kind of things. And this is what I put my focus on and my energy into, and where I try to be confident in, and where I try to perform the best. So last time we asked that you search for which are the areas that you find are really important to you. And if you weren't there last time, then you can do that now. Try to think of a couple of areas, like for example, the domain of sports, the domain of cooking, the domain of friendships, where you feel that they are super important to you and that you want to develop your confidence in them. And we also talked about self-esteem as being changeable. So as you focus on these domains, focus on these different categories, and you start to get more confident in them, you build your confidence in them, your whole self-esteem increases because you are bumping up the average, if that's an expression. And what you basically do is raise the level of everything.
And also then the part that we would discuss, that you really need to commit to the personal growth in order to change those things. So it's the first part, that to acknowledge it. Okay, it's possible to change. There's a thing that we can do something about it, and this is great. But the important part, or the addition to that, is really that you take some steps and some really commitment towards the change. So that's quite an important step that you understand, because the part is that yes, we can teach you about what that is, all the concepts, and like what nice fancy terms they found in research for different types of confidence. But the most important really is that you start with tiny steps, acting upon your growth and acting upon making a change and improving. And so that's really the most important message from last time.
Yeah, it's basically embodying all these things that we talk about, and try not to keep them in your brain, but actually live with them and find what's important to you, build that, nurture that, and be more clear on what is yourself. Who is yourself? What might be rude, but who are you?
Yeah, and like last time we also advised or gave a suggestion to use the VIA character strengths survey. So basically a survey that analyzes you relatively quickly in like 5 minutes, just to give you an idea of like what your character strengths could be, and like some strength you want to look at and want to improve. And so if you want to do that, it I guess helps you really to reflect on the things that we were talking about you can also do that afterwards. So no worries about that.
Yeah, we will share an image with all the strengths. So if you didn't do the survey, you can just check the strengths and see, okay, this resonates, this is definitely me, this is not me. And then you just have a couple of strengths that you know that you have. And Simona made a really nice comment where she says that the strengths that the test showed, she took them for granted. And this happens a lot to us because the things that we're good at, we just, that's how things are. That's what's given. I didn't even work for that. It comes naturally. And we just put them in the back of the drawer, just like not paying attention to them and not giving them the importance that they have. And the fact that they are there, that they are naturally there, is actually a strength of the strength. It's something that it's not effortful, it's not tedious to do. So it's good that we don't take those for granted, and we need to know our strengths in order to be able to use them to the full potential.
And before we then continue with going into the content of today's session, I'll give you a short overview, and then we do a little wake-up ritual so you're getting in the mood of taking in some new knowledge, and we can then begin properly. So we right now gave you a short overview of the last session, and we continue with the wake-up ritual and then dive deep into, okay, what is confidence actually? How can that be useful for you to know, and how you can also later on then implement it. But then the next step is that we give you a short little meditation to find an experience in which you were confident. So dive into some of your memories and see, okay, in these areas I have been confident, and what is the specific situation. Then we go further into finding the value within, because that's also I guess a recurring topic for us, that we figure out or find that we use to put the value to an external part. So we are valued when other people give us some recognition, or when my dad is proud of me, or something like that. But we're trying to focus now, okay, what is the confidence, or what is the value within? And then we go further into low self-esteem and the connection then to the comfort zone, and how you can, with this visualization or with this image in mind, see a bit how you can approach the topic in general. And just give you maybe some steps that you can take in order for you to make it easier to actually make a change. And a short recap then at the end.
So, without further ado, we will proceed with the wake-up ritual. Wake-up ritual? Welcome ritual. Whatever. Let's make a poll and just decide. But it's the ritual that we always do in the beginning of the video to get all in sync and to not be so stuck in our heads and just move a little bit. So we will start with 3 deep breaths, and this time we will place our hand, one whichever you like, in our belly, and what we will do is we will push that hand as we inhale. We will push it with our belly. So what we want is the air to go all the way through to the belly and inflate our abdomen. So anatomically correct. So we will do this 3 times. Whenever you're ready. Okay, and now we will move our shoulders. We usually do circles, so we can do a couple of circles forward and a couple of circles backwards. And when we're done, we're gonna take our hands, grab them behind ourselves, and push.
Push it up.
Push. Yes. And extend the shoulders. You should feel a stretch here. And then we grab our hands again. We take them forward and we move around a little bit. So then we stretch the back. We stretch the muscles of the arms. Oh, yes. And now we will do a movement of the head that it's going to be yes and no. We will do slowly, not like yes, but slowly. We will go for 3 yeses that go all the way forward and backwards. Now we go for the nose. So really, really emphatic no from one side to the other. 180 degrees of no-ness. And when you're done, we will meet here again. Hi. Oh, yeah. Something else?
No, with the wake up, that's fine. Obviously, we not only do that for you to be attentive, but for us also to be now ready for presentation. As I said before, we're now going to start with the confidence part. So I guess we all use the word confidence in some context or the other, but we might not have actually thought about, okay, what does the word actually mean, and how can we use that to learn something about it. And we start with, it's basically a trust in that you can achieve something, a trust in that you are able to do the coming challenge well, and your ability is enough to be actually to do that. So something that you are already experienced in, and you know, okay, what's coming next, you know how you probably deal with it, and you know, okay, I'm gonna make it work somehow. So there could be something from, okay, back in the days I was playing a lot of football, and there it was super easy, like to go to a training, to go to a game. You like have done this a million times, and you knew what was coming, and you knew how to pass a ball, how to shoot a goal, like all those things. There's nothing new to you, so you felt pretty confident in executing those things. And that was a thing because you felt competent also in that. So not only you were experienced in it, but you had experience to a certain extent that you have already gotten some competence. And so you felt in a way, okay, I feel confident in it, I can do this again, and I know how to do this. And this also gives you a certain security that you can do this again, that you will maybe even get better and will in football, for example, compete then with another person or another team and can then win. So that's another level, I guess, of that. But it's basically that you experience in it, you feel competent in this, and that you have the certain security and the sureness that you will actually succeed in whatever you do there.
The sureness. Yeah,
that's the word I just invented.
Great.
I hope you get what I mean.
If I didn't say anything, it would have been like the sureness. Yes. Everybody just understands that that's a word. Yeah, but I think it goes back to trust. And it's like, okay, you have the trust within yourself, right?
Yeah, so it's really that you believe you're able to cover or do the next challenge, and that you're able to just do the task at hand that's basically there. And so that's sort of an easy way to describe the confidence.
Good.
How you feel confident.
Yeah. And we all have times in our lives where we felt confident. They might stand out because they are like super exclusive. It's like that time where I was jumping from like the trampoline into the pool. It's not called like that, like the thingy thing that you just like.
No, it's
that thing.
Okay. No.
And then you were super confident that you could pull it off, and then you belly flopped or something that might have been a disaster, but at least you were confident jumping. And so this feeling that you can pinpoint when you get it is something that we're looking for, like in a milder version, in a more tamed day-to-day kind of version, when we're looking at strengths. So if you are able to notice your strengths and see, okay, I'm confident in this area, or with this in this domain, then you can use that confidence as a fuel to move you and perform more confidently or feel better. So to explore a bit further this subject, we will do an exercise, and this exercise is sort of like a meditation, and we will start by closing our eyes without any further notice. And then we close our eyes. We start focusing on what's going on inside. We pay attention to our breathing. We see if it's shallow and from the chest, or if it's deep and from the belly. And whatever you are, just try to take it to your belly. Pay attention to your feet. Are they touching the ground? Are they warm or cold? Go up your legs. Are you wearing pajamas? Are you wearing pants? Do you feel that fabric against you? Go up to your belly. Maybe you can feel how your breathing moves it. Up to your chest, where your lungs expand and contract. We go to the right arm, and from the shoulder to the fingertips, we feel the wholeness of the arm. And now we go to the left arm, and we feel from the shoulder to the fingertips the wholeness of the arm. Now we focus on our necks. If they are tense, we try to relax them. And our faces. If you're clenching the jaw, or if you're thinking hard so your forehead has activity, again, try to relax. And now we focus on our eyes. And without opening them, we imagine in front of us there is a door. We reach out and open that door. We walk through it, and we immediately see stairs. The stairs have 10 steps. And I will count them as you walk them. When you reach the top of the stairs, you will face another door. So now let's start. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. You feel yourself a lot of relaxation. 3, 2, 1. You're facing the door. And on the door there's a sign. The sign says, "My most confident memory." We will reach out for the handle, and when you feel ready, just open the door. A huge, really impressive light is covering everything, so it's hard for you to see. But as your eyes adapt to the brightness, you start seeing small hints of the memory. And as you focus on these hints, the image starts to take shape. And there you are, being confident. Concentrate on what you're feeling. What are you experiencing then? How does it feel in your body to be confident? Who are you with? What is the environment like? Just inhabit this memory at the peak of confidence that you felt. And when you have that footprint of how it felt to be confident, put it in an envelope and save it in your heart. Now we will walk out of this very bright room with the envelope in our hearts, remembering the feeling, remembering the memory. We walk out of the room, close the door, and start going down the stairs. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You reach the bottom of the stairs, feeling confident, happy that you went on this journey. Take a second to feel in your heart the confidence that you just experienced. And when you're ready, reach out for the handle and leave that place. And now we're back to focusing on our eyes as we walk out of that memory. We go back to our bodies, back to our breathing, back to the 10th of May of 2020. And whenever you're ready, open your eyes. That was nice.
Hello.
Hi.
Maybe take some breaths. It's very nice, like that.
If you have anything that you would like to share that you experienced, or something that you don't know how to handle, write it in the comments. It might be an intense experience if it's the first time that you do it.
Actually, also for me, it was like, even though I've done it a couple of times already, again, like when you always have those experiences suddenly, at least for me, it was like my body was adjusting. Like when the memory of the confidence came, I immediately, like, my shoulders back and a bit upright, my chest a bit out. So like, oh, okay, feeling different now. So that was very interesting for me.
Yeah. And the important thing to take from this is that there were times in your life where you felt confident. And if you felt it already, you know how it is. You have it in your heart, you put it in the envelope, you saved it in your heart, and it's there. It's an ability that you have that you can call upon when you need it, or you can build upon. So you already mastered this in some areas, and there are other areas where you didn't master it yet. So we want you to understand that this is a feeling that you can get in every area. It just takes time and practice. There's a comment, a couple of comments. Made you change continents. That's wonderful.
Wow.
What a trip. Yes. And the confidence was not the good type of confidence, so I tried to switch something else. Okay, so that's something that's important to touch upon. Is like, is it confidence because you are feeling good, that you're feeling capable, or is it like an overbearing kind of confidence where it's almost compensating for a lack of confidence? So yeah, it's important to connect with the true kind of confidence that you can feel from within, that it's like, okay, I'm gonna make a jump, even though I'm scared, I'm gonna make a jump. Or it's not like, it doesn't necessarily involve certainty or that things go well, but it's actually more related to the feeling that you feel when you're facing that situation.
And right now, I guess also what can come up in those situations is the feeling of maybe arrogance, that you, as you said, maybe overcompensate, and then it goes to, oh, I'm the best anyway, and I don't know where your mind drives you with that. But that is also something that you can just observe and like see, okay, what feelings come up then? Is there really something like arrogance, or is there something else? And the reason why we took like just the memory from you, how you felt there, is really the fact that it has been there. You have had good skills in some areas, and that's really just the focus on just what were you good at, what did you feel like sort of good at and confident in. So there's also maybe the differentiation that arrogance usually is connected to an external perspective. So arrogance usually is only there when another person is involved. So you cannot feel arrogant about yourself or with yourself. It's pretty difficult to do that, I don't know. But yeah, that's really important part, that it really is connected usually to an outer source. And that is something to keep in mind, what we will touch upon in the next point.
Yeah, that's a wonderful segue actually to the next important point that we will make, which is the value that you have for yourself, like how confident you are, where you stand, and the choices that you make can come from different sources. And very often we tend to look at that validation or that approval outside. So then we are happy and we're confident when we pass the exam. We're happy and confident when we get the approval from our father telling you, I'm proud of you. We are happy and confident when we're the best dressed in the room. We're happy and confident when we beat that person in the competition. And these are very limited ways of being confident, because we depend on the outside to get that confidence. If instead we focus on why we do things, what is the driving force behind this? What is in me that wants me to get there, to do that thing? Then the confidence comes from within. So it's not dependent on society standards, it's not dependent on the outcome of the race that you were running or the grade in the exam. It really comes from within. It's a thing that okay, I'm confident I perform to the top of my level even if the results don't back it up. And this is a really solid kind of steady confidence that you can build if you stop focusing on the outside. You probably, I did it a million times, you maybe are used to comparing, like for example with grades. It's like, oh, is a 7 good? Well, it's only good if the rest of the people didn't get an 8 or a 9, and then I suck. But if everybody got a 5, then it's like, oh, 7 is a great grade, and I'm happy about it. And that is something that we do in every area of our lives. It's like, oh, I'm doing great in I don't know, economically or whatever it is, because I'm earning more or I'm more successful in this career. And it's so subjective. And if you look at it from the environment perspective, it will really depend where you're standing and like how your peers are. But if you look at it from the within perspective and you find the value of what's important to you, like what is like a key element that I need to build upon, and that is my guiding force to moving around, then you can actually get this intrinsic confidence, this strong, steady kind of I have no word for that, but it's like a really solid kind of confidence.
Yeah, with the fundament underneath it. It's not really, so the groundwork has been done. It's not really built upon just like sand or something like that. So it's I guess the house is not then built on sand, but really a solid concrete stand, and that's something you can then build upon, rather than, well, it's not going to fall apart then usually.
Yep.
And maybe another perspective on this is like, okay, when you have this outer perspective, as you just mentioned, it's like kind of fragile. And another perspective on the inside is really the progress perspective. So you're not looking at, okay, how am I, how was I yesterday? How was it like a year ago? How am I going to do the next year? But really, oh, I made progress. Like that is really just the focal of this. So really looking at, oh, did I improve? And even if it's just a tiny bit, or did I just focus on the process, on improving that a bit? This not looking at the outcome itself. So really looking at, okay, am I trying to improve? And that's the thing to focus on.
Yeah. So you want to talk about comfort zone?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then we move on to the next point, which is really connected then to the growth part, how you improve, and also the incremental changes, is when you have the perspective on the comfort zone. Everybody knows the word comfort zone. It's been on the internet, social media, everywhere. Everybody uses it. But why is that such an important concept? And why do we use it or take it in right now as well? Well, the comfort zone is sort of the state that we're in right now, the habits, the thinking patterns that we have right now, and all those things are just comfortable because we're used to them, because it's so normal for us to use them. And then when we actually want to make a change, when we just, whether it is confidence, whether it's just in any other domain, it's really that we just need to take a tiny step out of this comfort zone. And there are like a million pictures also online which really resemble it really nicely. In the middle you have a circle, which is basically then the comfort zone. The next circle is then the growth or learning zone. And then one circle further out is sort of the panic zone. So in which you obviously don't like to be in. So there, it's really the part that you want to make incremental progress and get better and increase, and not like jump into the cold waters immediately if you don't even feel confident making a baby step.
Yeah.
So there, it's really just look at what you would like to improve, and then see how can you get into this growth zone rather than the panic zone or staying in the comfort zone. So there needs to be a balance between not doing too much, but also making just some efforts.
Yeah.
And we repeated it last time a million times to really use small steps to build up this confidence also in the process. So not building the confidence just in the domain, but you're also building the confidence in how you go about things, how you deal with things, how you make progress, and to sort of also trust the progress, the process.
Mm-hmm.
And the part is then really, okay, when you have a domain, whether, well, let's take the football example again. When you want to learn a new trick or want to get a bit faster, you're trying to incrementally increase those things and the efforts and the difficulty to constantly continue. Because if you, at some point, when you never really did sprint training and then have to run against Usain Bolt, you kind of, I don't feel like really training for it, since you don't see that there is actually a goal that you could reach, because it's so far away. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of when you get into the panic zone, or when you start public speaking in front of a million audience. Like nobody really does that.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah.
That would be crazy, yeah.
And so really then the approach is connected to the comfort zone and the confidence. In order to increase the confidence slowly, you just take a small glimpse into the growth zone and build up the confidence in getting better in this learning process.
Yeah. And one more thing, like regarding the comfort zone, that the comfort zone is comfortable. It's called comfort zone for a reason. So we want to stay there as long as we can. As humans that came from cavemen, that like comfort meant that there were no predators around, that they had enough food and everything was going well. That's comfort, and that's what our system understands as comfort. Change is scary. Change can get you eaten by a tiger. So this is something that is very intrinsic to us. And with low self-esteem, we might get into the comfort zone of saying, oh, I just have low self-esteem. I have no confidence whatsoever in any area of my life. This is so paralyzing. If you're just saying that to yourself, if that's your inner monologue, then that's how your reality is going to be. If instead you say something like, I'm not confident in that area yet, or this area is a bit challenging, but I'm working on it, and my self-esteem is not super high today, but usually is improving. So rephrasing how you think about this subject. Self-esteem, like low self-esteem, can become your comfort zone, can be your cuddly little room where you just stay and you just say, oh, this is my space, this is who I am. And if you define yourself as a low self-esteem person, you will be a low self-esteem person. So it's more about, okay, do I really want that? Do I want to change my narrative and get a little bit out of my comfort zone into a high self-esteem person? Well, not immediately, but yes, in that direction.
And yeah, again, like really just, it makes it super easy if you just try, you even if you think about yourself, oh, I'm a low self-esteem person, but maybe you can just like try tomorrow to just be a little bit less low self-esteem and just see how that goes and how that feels, and like what steps you would need to take in order to just like make it a tiny bit better.
Yeah. So now we have an exercise that we were going to do with like in the webinar, but I don't think we have time. So we will just give it to you, and then you can do it when we finish. And it's about using your strengths. So you already, hopefully you did the test, so you know your strengths, these things that you took for granted that you didn't even know you were good at. And once you have your strengths and also the areas that you want to improve, this is something that we talked a little bit in the beginning, like which are the areas that are important to you, then we will proceed to explaining the exercise. So just give you a second if you didn't think about which areas you want to improve on, or you're just remembering them, write them down. Like these areas are areas that are something that you want to work on because you want to be more confident in them, because they are important to you. This will build yourself.
Important to you personally, not to the university, to your boss, or it's something that you really want to work on. That's also quite important.
Yeah. So hopefully you have at least one area and at least one strength. So take that strength, and this strength is going to become a person. They will just suddenly shift from being a word that has nothing, like no meaning, and they will take the shape of a human being with a personality. So if your strength, for example, is honesty, this will be a really, really honest person. If it's a love, like I got the corniest strength. Yeah, complete disapproval from here.
Oh my God.
If it's love, then it's going to be like this hippie, like, well, for me, it would be like this really bubbly hippie person. And we will ask this person for advice on how to move forward in this area that we want to improve in. And just listen to what that person has to say and ask them for a couple of tips. And try to keep it, to stay in character, like just to really listen what the person with that personality, with that character strength is telling you. They will probably tell you something important.
And just, you know, maybe it helps you to just write it down while they're saying it, so you have it sort of ordered and not just jumping around in your head. So maybe just really take a piece of paper once you do the exercise and write those things down, and maybe just like write the person, hope, love, trust, whatever, is saying this, and really see it as, okay, a different person is telling me that right now.
Oh, there's a comment. Sometimes when I feel fully confident that I did things right, I ended up being wrong. Well, here's the thing. It is a balance between the environment and yourself, but we're starting with what you think is right for yourself. Like, first define it. You can let that be influenced by the environment. Like, for example, if you have a conversation and you feel like you should like ask to put some boundaries, to say the other person, okay, I don't want to deal with the situation or something, then in that case, is what you feel is right. It might not be the best approach ever in the world, but at least we start there. And from there, you build up. Then you just readjust for next time. But first, yes, let's connect with what you think is right. So when you feel fully confident that you did the thing right, then you did the thing right, because that was the step that you needed to take, even if you were wrong, because it's a learning experience. And nobody just like comes out of the womb completely illustrated and knowing how to handle every situation. So it's trial and error, and this is why important to connect with what's within and act with your own confidence, and then you can change it, you can adjust it, but first let's connect with that.
Yeah, see where you're at right now, see whatever the other person or the environment said was wrong, and then take the easiest thing to get better at it. What is the thing that you could improve next time? What is the learning you take out of this? And see how you can do it better next time.
Yeps.
Yeps
again. So to close it up, we tried today to give you a little glimpse of what is confidence, how does that feel like, and is confidence linked to a perfect outcome or not? Like most of the times it's not. Like it's not necessarily correlated. It's just about finding your center, finding your compass, what's important to you, and acting from there. Also, we covered the strengths and how we can overlook them. But if we see them and we put the glasses of strengths, then that looks really weird.
Continue.
If you put the glasses of strengths, then you approach the situations with an advantage. The advantage that you at least feel more confident, at least feel more competent in that area.
And there is a super nice comment. Practice with confidence makes permanent. I like this.
Yeah.
And it really shows that there's practice involved. So you have progress, you need to adjust. You will be wrong at times, and just see what you can get, how you can get into the growth zone of the out of the comfort zone into the growth zone, and see what small step you can take in order to get there.
Yeah, and I recently heard a speaker that I was like super moved by, because he was saying like, if you don't get anything wrong, then you're doing everything wrong, because you're not doing anything new, you're not trying anything. So you're just staying in the comfort zone and repeating the same things that you know how to do over and over again. So if you're doing things wrong, then good for you, because you're trying something new.
Yes, so that is, I guess, the recap. So that was all the content we wanted to cover this time. Got a bit longer this time, sorry. But if you have other questions that, well, we didn't go into detail as much, or that you just didn't understand correctly, or you confused, you can still write us know in the comments. Of course, also message us if you don't want to write it in the comments. And so then we will continue right now with talking about what we will cover next time.
Yeah.
But you can still write it in there, and we cover it as soon as the comments arrive, because that takes some time.
That takes some time, yes. So questions in the comments, you have 3 minutes, go. And if we don't get to cover it, we can cover it replying in the comment section. But yeah. Go. Do you want to do the...
Well, next time we will go a bit deeper also in like how you can apply that. So you really focus on, okay, what can you do with this, with the addition in confidence? How can you find a project to work on? How can you really look deeper into that? And we will just like strengthen the connection between that, and also see, okay, what are the thinking patterns maybe that arise when those things happening, because we all know like when we are in a situation, it is just insanely difficult to, despite of all things that are happening in the environment, keep focused on just like your growth. It's fine, I'm going to improve next time. So that's an important part too. And we just saw also a comment. We'll have to hear you again.
Yeah.
Oh,
thank you so much. Yes, thank you for joining.
And for your nice comments.
Yeah.
That was really helpful.
Yes, we actually really want to give a shout out to the comments because they really help us illustrate things and go deeper into the things that worry you. So yeah, we love it. We love it that you comment, and we love the questions, and everything. We love you. That's basically what it sums. My strength of love, showing,
it's everywhere,
spilling all over Facebook.
Yeah, so we hope we could give you some insights, and the exercise that we told you, that might be an important and interesting thing for you to consider. So, okay, what are the things you want to work on, and then select one area and one of your strengths, and make it a person, and ask this person, what do you think? How can I improve this?
Yeah.
Sounds a bit weird, sounds a bit abstract. Just give it a try, and see what, this person tells you.
Yeah. And Leon just asked, application next time gonna be back. Yes. And also that last time we sent homework, to do the strengths test. If you didn't do it, maybe you have a chance now to take that strengths test to see what secret superpowers you have, and you haven't just paid attention to them. And the other homework is the exercise. So we will write it. We will write it in the comments, so you will get notified. You will know with a little bit more specificity what you should do, because we explained it quite fast. So we will clarify that when we finish the call.
Yes, thank you for joining.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for the love. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, if you don't have any other question, then we were super lucky that you joined, and thanks.
Thank you, guys.
Hope to see you next time.
Yes. See you next Sunday. Have a nice week.
What do you say? I want to take that...
Homework. Yes.
Nice.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Mwah, mwah.
Bye.
Hearts. Okay. Yes,
Wow,
louder hearts.
loud.
Stop it! You killed me. I'm dying. Okay.
So yeah, I guess if you want to check...
I'm addicted.
No, wait.
What?
If you want to also see the other session next time in the event, just click on going for the next event on Sunday, and you again get notified about the event. So see you there.